The top 10 historical inaccuracies in Rome Total War. One of the ways Rome II improved upon Rome Total War was in its historical accuracy. Nobody can argue that the original Rome Total War's vanilla campaign is devoted to historicity, and these are its top 10 most grievous offenses to history. Number 10. I don't want to dwell too much on the Bronze Age Egyptians, since everybody has talked about them to death, so I'll just be brief here. Yes, it is bad that we have Bronze Age Egypt in Rome Total War, since Egypt at this time was ruled by a Macedonian dynasty, the Ptolemies, and fielded an army of mixed Macedonian and local Egyptian-style units, so there was no reason for Bronze Age Egyptians here. Perhaps this was Creative Assembly's cry for help, since they really want to make a Bronze Age Total War, but just haven't gotten the green light to do so from the corporate execs. Sega would rather have a Sonic Total War instead of an ancient Near East one, it would seem. Number 9. Even though the campaign begins in 270 BC, the king of Armenia at the start of the game is Artaxias, or Artaxes in Armenian. Artaxias was king in Armenia approximately 100 years later. The king in 270 was a man named Orontes III, or Yervand, of the Orontid dynasty, which preceded Artaxias' Artaxiad dynasty, which was founded in 189 BC. There is absolutely no reason to have the king be Artaxias. This is just one of many strange historical inaccuracies in Rome I that seem to be rather inexplicable. Having the correct king would not cause any degradation of the gameplay or fun factor of the game, in my opinion. It's just strange. Number 8. The starting position of the Parthians in this game is ridiculous and doesn't make any sense. The map just doesn't extend far enough east for them. Nisa, perhaps the most important Parthian city in this period, is located in modern Turkmenistan to the east of the Caspian Sea. Of course, all of this is in addition to the fact that Parthia was a satrapy of the Seleucids at the time, and not even a semi-independent kingdom until the middle of the 3rd century, a few decades after the 270 BC start date. Perhaps this was all done for gameplay purposes, since they wanted to keep the map small, but regardless, the Creative Assembly could have found a more creative solution for this one. Number 7. Staying in the east for just a bit longer, the Armenian start position is also quite odd. Armenia owns Armenia, which is fine, but it also controls Colchis at the start of the campaign. Why does it control Colchis? I have no idea. It never controlled Colchis, and as far as I know, there was never any attempt for it to control Colchis. In the 1st century, Pontus invaded and captured Colchis. Again, perhaps there was gameplay in mind here, but why not create a province that they historically controlled instead of giving them a region they never did? Number 6. The Greek cities as a faction in general doesn't really make any sense. I understand that they wanted to have this faction so that the Greeks are tough to beat and won't get steamrolled by Macedon, but come on. There are so many far-flung cities included in this hypothetical confederation that it doesn't even make sense if you think about it as a defensive league of city-states. The mod Europa Barbarorum has a much better depiction of what such a faction could look like with this city-state league model. Other mods, such as Roma Surrectum, simply do away with the city-states and have separate factions for various important Greek cities, such as Sparta or Syracuse. This was probably again done with gameplay in mind, but it is still a bit jarring. Number 5. The capital of Armenia in Rome Total War is the city of Artaxata. This city was founded approximately 100 years after the start date of Rome Total War by King Artaxias, who again reigned approximately 100 years after the start date of Rome Total War. The capital in 270 BC was the city of Armavir. Again, this is another one that is just baffling, since there is no reason for these inaccuracies. It's not like there's a King Artaxias fan club in the Total War community that was clamoring to play as King Artaxias, who had just founded his capital of Artaxata 100 years before it was actually founded. Sign me up though if there is such a fan club. It sounds fun. To top it all off, they spell Artaxata wrong, adding an R in the middle, perhaps reflecting a British mispronunciation. Actually, I just thought of that now, and I actually think I'm on the right track here. Number 4. The Germans. There was not an ounce of creativity to be found here when it came to the naming of this faction. The Germans. Not even any reference to any famous German tribe here, like the Cimbri or the Suebi or anything. Just the Germans. That's great. They could have called it Germany, but no, just the Germans. It's very uninspiring. Number 3. The depiction of the Iberian Peninsula in the game is quite bad from a historical perspective. The Iberian tribes are represented here by the faction known as Spain. There was never any kingdom known as Spain in this period. Why does there have to be one? Perhaps marketing, but you can't even play as Spain in the game. So again, why have a faction called Spain here? Why not just pick an Iberian faction from the period, like the Celtiberians or the Lusitanians or something along those lines, instead of just inventing a strange amalgamation and calling it Spain? It's just weird. Number 2. The Gauls. Why is there a huge contiguous kingdom called Gaul? There was no such thing. The Creative Assembly was not being consistent here. Just like in the Iberian Peninsula, they created a giant Frankenstein faction that's basically an ahistorical amalgamation of various Gaulish tribes that lived from France to northern Italy and beyond in this period. They should have called it France. Then we would really be happy. We would have Germany, France, and Spain. But no, we just get a giant kingdom called Gaul. Great. Number 1. In my opinion, the most jarring aspect of the original Rome Total War was the fact that they split the Romans into 4 separate factions: the Julii, Brutii, Scipii, and the Senate. This was probably done for gameplay purposes, since it allows for an easy implementation of the Civil War mechanic that they so desperately wanted in the game as a late-game challenge. Looking back, they also probably went this route due to the inept, incompetent AI in Rome Total War, which was almost completely incapable of fighting wars on multiple fronts or expanding with naval invasions. This AI problem would have made it very difficult for one unified Rome AI to actually conquer all of the areas that were part of the historical Roman Empire. Splitting the Roman faction into 3 was an easy solution to getting the AI fighting on just a single front: north for the Julii, east for the Brutii, and west and south for the Scipii. However, this is not a full excuse in my opinion. You can build up your great Bronze Age Egyptian kingdom in the east and get ready to fight the great Roman war machine, but instead you fight some green Roman faction called the Brutii. It's just not the same. Of course, all of this is in jest, and it doesn't mean Rome Total War isn't a classic game. I love Rome Total War, and I always will. The Creative Assembly created a wonderful canvas to build upon, and the modding community has done wonders with it, creating many mods both devoted to historical accuracy and not, such as Rome Total Realism, Europa Barbarorum, Extended Cultures, and Roma Surrectum. I just wanted to highlight several of the historical oddities of the game and talk about a few aspects that other videos don't really touch upon. If you would like more videos like this, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.